What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. Today Sony had their newest state of play, 18 minutes of actual gameplay from Ghost of Tsushima. And it looks pretty fucking awesome, I'm not gonna lie. And it appears I'm not the only one who thinks so, because as of this recording, the video has 34,000 likes and 1.2 thousand dislikes. Before we get into it, just a real quick off topic. I just want to say, when I saw this scene right here, the first thing that popped in my head was $20 says when Tyrone Magnus sees this, he's gonna say, "Kate flapping." So it's just the first thing I thought of. But anyway, back to my thoughts. For those of you who don't know, Ghost of Tsushima is an open world action adventure game that takes place during the Mongol invasion of Japan. And one of the biggest things that we were told about the game by the developers was that they weren't going to have any waypoints. So you could go to the map and select a destination, but you wouldn't see a waypoint appear on the screen. And we didn't really understand what that meant or how that would work. But what they explain here is you can press a button to basically call upon the wind, and the wind will show you the direction that you need to go. So it's kind of a cool solution. I think what they're trying to do is go for a minimalist HUD, where the HUD isn't so in your face. So I think that's kind of a cool idea for getting you to go the right direction without having to have all kinds of things in your face. Also, as you're moving throughout the world, riding your horse or on foot, a bird may show up and kind of indicate a direction that you may want to go, that may show you a hidden objective or a secret location, something like that. Also kind of cool. And then there are also foxes that may show up, and if you follow the fox will take you to shrines, secret shrines. So they're kind of leaning into this. The animals will show you different ways around the island to kind of point you towards certain objectives without having things all in your face. Again, kind of creative. I don't know how awesome it's going to be while you're playing, or if it'll get tiresome after a while. Like, maybe they'll get tired of seeing birds. Like, get the fuck out of here, bird. Like, I don't want to go where you're trying to point me, or get the fuck out of here, fox. Like, I don't know, but it is a creative solution to a problem they were looking to solve, so I will give them that. Graphically looking at it, you can see it's a really, really good looking game. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it's crazy or insane. I've seen some people saying shit like, "Oh my god, this looks next gen." I'm sorry, if you think this looks next gen, you're smoking crack. It does not look next gen. It looks good for this generation. It is probably one of the better looking games of this generation. But next gen, no. Some people even said next level. I wouldn't even say next level. Again, it looks really good for the current generation that we're in, but I don't think it's one of the best looking games that we've seen. I don't think it looks better than God of War. I don't think it looks better than Horizon. I don't think it's going to look better than The Last of Us 2, which is coming out before it comes out. But that being said, it's still a really good looking game. One thing I noticed that kind of bugged me was the tail on the horse. Like, it looks like the tail isn't made of hairs. It looks like it's made of like strips of leather or something. And I understand the reason why. Like, to do hair physics, it takes a lot of horsepower. And they've gone with this, we want all these fields of flowers and grass and leaves, and all this shit's gonna be blown all over the place, and that also takes horsepower. So I'm assuming that what they've done is giving less horsepower to the horse, no pun intended, so that they can actually get those nice fields full of flowers and the leaves and stuff falling. But yeah, like that, looking at that horse's tail, it was bugging me a little bit, but that's a small nitpick because everything else does look really, really good. One other thing that kind of bothered me was watching people getting shot with arrows. Like, you'd shoot someone with an arrow, and then they would go flying like 2-3 feet. And it's like, if you shot someone with an arrow, they would just kind of like fall over. They wouldn't go flying. Like, the animation of them being shot with the arrow just doesn't look, it looks very unnatural. It doesn't look like what you would expect to happen when they get shot with an arrow. Um, I'm hoping that they change that, or that they polish that or something, because that does look a little weird. That was like the only thing looking at it that I was like, that looks a little strange. But again, these are small nitpicks. Something they showed off that I really liked was the customization, because Jin is actually fully customizable, which is awesome. I really like when games let you do this. And in the little demonstration they show, I mean, it's you can customize a lot. Like, they're customizing his clothing, his armor, the colors. You can even change the color of the katana and the wakizashi. And they made a comment about how, depending on how you outfit Jin, it's going to impact how you play the game. They didn't really go into detail about that, but they kind of implied that depending on how you're dressed, it's going to change how you're able to play the game, which is interesting, and I'm curious to find out more about that. I also like the idea that you can tinker with your character and change the way he looks to fit your playstyle, or change whatever armor he's wearing to fit your playstyle, which I always appreciate in games. I feel they're more immersive when you can do that, so I'm excited to see that we're able to do that here, because I thought originally that you were just going to have armor sets. Like, you'd start off with samurai armor, and obviously you lose it when you go to the side of the ghost, and that you would just get ghost armor. I didn't expect to have this level of customization where you can completely change this piece and that part and this color and that color, so I'm pretty stoked for that. The combat looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, watching the gameplay, it looks like a game that's going to be fun to play. My hope is that it's not one of those games where it's fun for the first couple hours, then after a while the combat gets old and stale. I don't think it's going to be one of those games, but I'm hoping that that's not the case. They also didn't go super deep into the combat. It was kind of like surface level, like, here's what combat is, because we know that there's going to be skill trees and, you know, upgrades and all kinds of stuff, and they didn't really delve into that. They just kind of showed us on the surface what the combat's gonna look like. So I'm not sure how much deeper it gets or how much more complex it gets, but from what we saw, it did look pretty cool. And there were multiple stances that you can have with your sword. I'm not sure what the benefits of each stance are, because they didn't talk about that either, but it's just interesting that there are different stances. So really interested to get my hands on the game and play, because it does look like it's something that would be a lot of fun. Then they showed off the photo mode, which is probably one of the coolest photo modes I've ever seen. Like all the rest of the Sony first-party studios, it's a very comprehensive photo mode. Lots of sliders and adjustments and changes and all kinds of stuff to make it look however you want to look. But what sets this one apart from the rest is that it's not a still image. Weird, right? Like, normally photo mode, you kind of set your character up where you want them to be and put your camera where you want it to be, and then you snap your picture. But no, with these, it's kind of like a three-dimensional snapshot in time, where your character and every other character are frozen in time, but the environment is not. So, like, you'll have the leaves blowing in the wind, or the grass blowing, or fireflies around your character while you are frozen in time in combat with somebody else, or midair, or shooting an arrow. It's really cool and interesting. And not only that, but you can actually put music to your photo. So it's this kind of almost like a diorama, like a three-dimensional photo mode. And I haven't really seen that done before, and I thought that was really cool. Then they announced that the game's also going to have a Japanese voice track, which is awesome, because that's the way I'm going to play. Like, I don't know about you, but in my opinion, if you're not playing this game with a Japanese voice track and subtitles, why are you playing this game? Like, if you want to immerse yourself in this Japanese world, in this time period, you're going to have these people speak in English? Like, I get it, some people don't like reading subtitles, you know, and if that's how you do, then that's how you do. But for me, I think it's awesome that there's going to be a Japanese track. Like, when I played Sekiro in Japanese with subtitles, because that's how you're supposed to do it. So I'm happy that they're going to include a Japanese voice track for the game. They also added a black and white filter that you can put on to kind of mimic the look of the old samurai movies, which I thought was really cool. It's nice that they're giving you that option. It just shows how passionate they are about this project and about doing justice to the movies that they're taking inspiration from. And I really like to see when developers are that passionate, because it makes me feel better about investing my money into purchasing that game, because I can feel that they really care about everything they're doing. Small details like Jin flicking the blood off his sword, things like that show you that they really, really care. And it's always nice to see that. All in all, this 18 minutes really got me hyped and excited for the game. I mean, I was already hyped and excited for Ghost of Tsushima, but this 18 minutes only added to that hype. It didn't take away from it in any way. And my only worries are that because it is an open world game, you always have to worry about, is the world going to be full of interesting, fun things to do, or is it going to be a big open world that is dead and empty and boring? Because that's always something that can happen when you make an open world game, and oftentimes does happen. I don't think that's going to happen here, but until we play it, we won't know. So I'm really hoping that's not the case. I'm also hoping that the combat doesn't get stale or boring, because that's also something that can happen in these big open world 30 plus hour games where you're doing repetitive type things, you know, going into camps, killing people. Like, the combat needs to be fun and stay fun all the way up till the end of the game. And that's always something that we need to worry about. And again, I don't think that's going to be the case here, but until we play the game, we won't know. But still, even with those two things that I'm worried about, I'm still super hyped for the game. I think it looks awesome. And this is how you get people excited for your console. We just saw gameplay, nothing but gameplay, and it's getting people hyped. So those are my thoughts on the Ghost of Tsushima State of Play. And yeah, I think it looks awesome. I think it looks like fun. And I'm really excited to get my hands on it. But what do you guys think? Are you as excited for it as I am? Did the State of Play disappoint you? Was there anything you saw you didn't like? Anything you saw that you liked more than you thought you would? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next Supernova.